예약은 안 했는데 지금 Yes. 그러지 마. 그러지 마. 그러지 마. 뭐지?
sigh as the desert train rolls by. Try to make Lone Pine by morning. Miles of highway in the sand, kicking dust in cowboy land, riding all the daylight through. Dunes under Mojave sun, tumbling sagebrush, run, cows, run. How I'm longing for the thrill of the Alabama hills, hear the high Sierra call. Now I can only dream of the redwood grove and stream winding gently through the valley. See the golden eagle fly to the granite in the sky from the meadow far below. Dunes under Mojave sun, tumbling sagebrush, run, cows, run. How I'm longing for the thrill of the Alabama hills, hear the high Sierra call. Sagebrush, run, cow, run. How I'm longing for the thrill of the Alabama hills, hear the high Sierra call.